Do you like truck simulators but think driving on a road is too restrictive?
Yeah!
Well, how about a truck simulator set in space? I'm Joe, an ex-gaming industry pro, and today we're reviewing Star Trucker on the Xbox Game Pass, a game that takes your convoy into outer space. Star Trucker was released this month. Now, even though we're not that far through September, it's seen some really good hits, like Astrobot, Space Marine 2, the casting of Frank Stone, and there seems to be a lot more on the horizon. You may think Star Trucker picked a bad time to release, but it seems to be gaining massive traction on YouTube and Twitch, and it could end up being a sleeper hit? Hard to say as of right now, but releasing on Game Pass means it's available to millions of people. Not an exaggeration, by the way. Developed by Monster and Monster, a two-person indie studio with some help of some talented friends, and published by Raw Fury, Star Trucker is a surprisingly high-quality game for such a small team. At its core, it's a truck simulation game, but with a twist. You'll haul cargo, manage your rocket-powered rig, and navigate through a galaxy filled with hazards, like asteroid fields, solar flares, and even bad drivers. I lied about that last one, it's mainly me. Beyond that, you can even hop out of your truck and spacewalk to collect salvage or perform essential maintenance. The game adds complexity through a dynamic economy, CB radio interactions, and customization options for your truck. The game doesn't really have much of a narrative, but the atmosphere of space trucking is alive through your interactions with other truckers. You're not alone in the void. There's an entire community of space truckers that give you quests, share their stories, and give you a sense of togetherness as you make your deliveries across the galaxy. Now, I've never played a truck simulator before, but the music alongside the visuals drew me in for sure. I'll be honest, I didn't do any prior research, so I honestly thought the game was going to be like Space Lines from the Far Out. So it was a big surprise to me when I started playing, and it was super in-depth. But I was still excited to give it a go. This game is a simulation that prioritizes realism as you handle massive slow-moving trucks. Your space rig is a behemoth that requires careful steering, especially when you're hauling heavy loads through asteroid belts or docking at stations. The game is deeply immersive with cockpit views, intricate control panels, and random events like weight checks and traffic stops. Yeah, in space. It even goes as far to let you know how much traffic is in a certain system. The main gameplay is centered around picking up and delivering cargo across various spaceports. The game's navigation system is surprisingly intuitive, guiding you through star systems using warp gates. The gameplay is slow-paced, but that's part of the appeal for a lot of people. Hauling cargo through the stars feels like a relaxing experience, especially during longer journeys where you can zone out to the game's ambient noises or the radio. Not all deliveries are smooth. There are deliveries where you need to be there after a specific time. If you get there too early, well, too bad. The in-game clock is based on real time. I got to a delivery 50 minutes early. No way to skip the time except for warping through a gate. So I warped through a gate and back, which meant I was like 4 hours late now. This provides a unique logistical challenge, but it definitely wasn't for me, and I avoided all these types of deliveries from that point on. Now, speaking of when things don't go smoothly, if you crash, then you end up racking up hull damage, and sometimes there are holes in your rig. You need to go on a spacewalk and repair these holes to make sure the systems function properly, which can be quite fun and adds variety to the gameplay that you might not see on a normal truck simulator. But this is the part where newbies, like myself might end up getting overwhelmed and wanting to leave. You need to make sure that the power cells for each system in your rig are replaced consistently, and even the chip in the system sometimes breaks. Now, that adds a whole new dynamic to the game, where you're forced to stop off and buy new equipment to keep the truck running. However, on the recommended difficulty which I picked, this happens way too often, and I found myself parking at shops more than actually hauling cargo. There is a saving grace here, in that there's a custom difficulty where you can change things, like how much power your stuff consumes. But for me, playing on recommended, it was not relaxing. The controls can also not be relaxing sometimes. Like I mentioned before, realism is a key component of the gameplay, which is good, but be prepared for your truck to drift at times, or for you to take a few minutes just to line up to park. Space can also be really disorientating, especially using the internal camera. If you do end up bumping into something, you can repair your truck for free as long as it's under 80,000 miles, because that's the warranty on it. You also need to make sure to make regular pit stops to fuel this truck up, as a space rig isn't exactly efficient. Over time, you earn credits to upgrade your space truck. Customizing your rig with better engines, shields, or even cargo holds. It's satisfying as it makes future hauls more efficient, or allows you to take on higher paying contracts. You can also personalize your rig's appearance, after 80,000 miles, because that's the warranty. Adding fun details like custom decals and paint jobs to make your truck feel uniquely yours. There are some reported minor bugs here and there, but I have to talk about my experience, which was 0 bugs as far as I was aware. Overall, the gameplay is a mixed bag in my own opinion. There's a lot more good than bad, but it will come down to preference for you whether the good is good enough to stay on. But something that's definitely not a mixed bag is the visuals. Star Trucker is an absolute screenshot magnet. The retro futuristic aesthetic, alongside the beauty of the universe, makes you want to save all of it on wallpaper engines somehow. Even the batteries look detailed, which is just so wild to me, and the truck feels like a moving home. The audio doesn't let the visuals down. The calming ambient noises really showcase the loneliness of space sometimes. There's also a radio which plays country, rock, and blues, perfectly complementing the trucker lifestyle in space. I will not be showcasing the radio, as I couldn't get confirmation if it was copyright or not, but I can do a demonstration. After that lovely singing session, which definitely won't be cut, we need to move on to a little talking point I have about the potential this game has for being a cozy game. Despite not looking the part, there's something really calming about driving around space in a truck by yourself, especially with the coziness of the cabin. You can also just chill in the cabin and look out at the other trucks and vehicles passing by, which is really nice and would make a great background to lo-fi music. It falls short though, which is completely okay as it's not the intended effect of the game. However, it looks like you can't customize your cabin. I refer to Warframe for this as a visual example. It would be great to buy like a TV, a couch, maybe even an arcade cabinet, or just some figures. And speaking of Warframe, it would be amazing to be able to get some form of pet in the cabin. If you want to take the simulation to 1,000, then even make it so we need to buy food sometimes. Lastly, it's weird that there's a bed there that can't be used. But I did see a comment from the dev saying that it might be something they introduce in the future. Overall, this game genuinely could fill that cozy void for you, even if it looks like something completely different. To finish up, Star Trucker is an atmospheric and immersive space trucking simulator that I feel nails what it was going for. It's a unique experience that introduces something fresh to the genre. If you're a fan of trucking simulators, try this out. If you're someone who's new to the whole scene like me, I'd recommend changing the difficulty settings, as this game can be overwhelming at times. If you're not a fan of more slow-paced games, probably best to just move on. It's okay to have preferences while recognizing how much work was put into something like this. Hats off to Monster & Monster, and I wish them all the best with this game. Since you guys made it all the way to the end, let me know what your favourite simulation game is. No, you don't count, you need to leave. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like to let me know I'm doing the right thing. Subscribe if you want more content like this, and let me know your suggestions for content down below. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, and be sure to check back in next Friday, where we'll be making a wish to the mighty Shenron, maybe. See you then. Ladies and gentlemen of the galaxy, are you ready for the ultimate collection of cosmic trucking tunes? Presenting the best hits of Space Trucker Radio. Now available on intergalactic holodisc and vinyl, because vinyl never dies, for some reason. Including unforgettable tracks like Planet of Broken Dreams, Saddle Up Space Cowboy, and Day and Night. Dial 78292 Space, or visit your nearest asteroid to get your holodisc before they fly off the shelves. This offer is a limited time only. We will end up owning your likeness and your whole family if you buy this collection. Terms and conditions apply.